What's up? Really don't have much. We have bounced quite a bit. Thanks for hanging out, everybody, stream or otherwise. I had to turn off the comments yesterday on the video because the bots were just out of control. Absolutely out of control. So I've changed the moderation settings on the video. Hopefully on this video, we don't get hundreds of bots commenting about XYZ coin or here's my private keys. Can you put this in your wallet? Whatever. We also have to announce we lost a subscriber this week. He didn't die. He just unsubscribed. He told me that the analysis has been poor. Apparently it's been poor. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. So I don't know if he's watching the same videos I'm creating, but maybe not. We had CPI today, 2.4 was the reading. Trueflation continues to show the way here. It's going to be a more noisy data series. CPI is pretty noisy as it is, but directionally, Trueflation has been correct on the way up and on the way down. So we'll see post-tariff. Do we get a Trueflation pump or not? The Fed is going to be months behind anything on the cuts section unless Trump installs a puppet Fed, which anything's possible. Anything, literally, and you could tell me anything. You could say, hey, in 2 months we're gonna have a shadow Fed, blah blah blah. Like, I'd believe you. Anything's possible. Why not? But right now, there's no meeting in April. Next meeting in May is not pricing in a cut just yet. I guess unemployment at the end of the month could shift this, but that's going to be super close to the meeting. And there's usually we're pretty locked into a hike or cut a week before the meeting. So what we're seeing is probably what we're going to get. No cut for May because it's a month out. I don't really know what could shift this. We would have to have the bond market exploding or something, some intervention, which, again, you can tell me anything. I'd believe you. It's possible. 10-year to 5%, and then they step in and do something silly because they have to. Sure, why not? Why not? This is ETF flows. Over the past week, it's been nothing to really speak of. We are off $500 million on the week, on the month, negative. So we're not really getting any help from flows, but they have been pretty mild on the way down. Generally, they're not these extreme like February outflows that we were seeing that were the basis trades type thing. And then ETH is just a ghost town. You're not really seeing any flows that matter from ETH. As far as price, we had a 8.25% day yesterday. We don't see too many of those. Last time we saw that was actually March 2nd. We gave all that back immediately the next day. Wild sequence of events. I think we had a couple 8% days back here. But the huge moves are not as common as they have been. Historically, that makes sense. The market cap's bigger now. So on trend, do we have anything to speak of here? High time frames, we're below all the important stuff. We've got a death cross. We're below the 50, below the 200, below the cloud, below the Tenkin. We're below the 20-week moving average. There's nothing bullish here. The only potential recovery would be some sort of like U-shaped bottom. Maybe you could interpret it as an inverted head and shoulders, but at this point, that's probably out the window. It's going to take time. It's going to take probably all of April into May. I don't know what macro data would help turn the tide here. The only thing that I really think is going to help is if they say, yeah, the 10 years imploding, we have to do YCC, yield curve control, to some degree. They're not going to call it yield curve control, but what it amounts to is either buying the 10-year themselves or issuing less than they already are, which is next to nothing on the long end, because they know no one's buying it, or there's more sellers than buyers, whether that's Japan, China, basis trade, in that realm, whatever it is. Nobody wants it. Nobody wants it, at least on the secondary market. So for the rest of the month, we'd love to see us hold a low. We haven't held a low since, what, early February at 94 before we broke down. We keep making lower lows. So that's the first step. Can we stop making lower lows? Can we hold on to this 80K yearly pivot? Can we hold on to something in the volume profile? In this case, it would be 84. Reclaiming 84 would be huge. But what is there to do here? Nothing. There's nothing on the technicals that say we've bottomed, or that we've got momentum back, or that we're reversing. There's a diagonal on low time frames you could watch on the pitchfork as well. Pop on like the 8-hour or the 6-hour. We're below the cloud here, below the pitchfork. If we can live up here, then yeah, then we have more evidence that we're turning the corner a little bit. But so far it's just down, right? Like, what else is there to say here? The next spot this goes, if it keeps going, is the previous range back here. That's it. There's really no other analysis to be done here. Right? That's the previous range. So if we lose whatever we're doing up here post-election, then we can say that's the next support. You can just use volume profile to see that. Tons of volume here, obviously, because we spent 8 months consolidating. But here, is there anything? No. Now, once we get back above the cloud, I'll get excited again. Even if it's a fake out, even if it ends up being a nothing burger, even if it stops you out, even if it ends up being the cycle top, I don't care. That doesn't matter to me. If we're up here on the daily, then it's go time. That's what the cloud says. So just like we were up here a couple times, faked out, eventually we took off, we had a catalyst or whatever. If we get back up here, great news, excellent news. I like leverage, I like beta, I like everything. I like everything up here. But that is a far cry from where we are currently. All right, let me catch up with chat. Sep's here, Phil's here, Joey's here. Joey is doing the Lord's work, trying to cull the bots. He is an unpaid intern, moderator extraordinaire. We did what we could, Joey. We did what we could. The bots won. We fought and the bots won. We might win the battle, but we will lose the war, unfortunately. Thanks, Karen. Nuanda. Anthony Dell. Is this showing up? I hope this is showing up. I think it's working. Sol ETF. No, Sol ETF's not trading. Treasury needs lower rates to roll debt. Yes, they do. They do. Let me just make sure. Okay. The preview's just frozen. Bitcoin, Andreas says, Bitcoin below 50K for Q4. Pretty obvious, he says. I think it's hard to make ultra long-term predictions because we have God knows what happening. When the bedrock financial instrument of the world, which is the US 10-year, when this is trading like a shitcoin, okay, then we've got issues. We've got to deal with whatever's going on here. It's going back up. 450 was the level where they were crapping their pants. So if this keeps going up, and honestly, as a crypto person, you probably need to root for that. probably need to root for just sheer calamity and chaos in the bond market. And it's almost like inevitable anyway. So what does it even matter? You don't even need to root for it because it's going to happen. Like, we can't get the debt down fast enough or just enough at all to stop issuing on the long end. So this is going to keep going up. We've pissed off the world. No one wants to buy our shit. So like, this is where we are. By the way, this is the dollar. The dollar is getting crushed, which again should be huge for crypto if there wasn't all of the nonsense going on that we're seeing. This is positive global liquidity in a vacuum, and it should be very bullish for crypto. So if we're talking about Q4, where's the dollar in Q4? Where's the 10-year in Q4? Have they had to step in and deal with rates in Q4? Is the bond market exploding by the time we get to Q4? If the bond market is exploding and they've got out like some alphabet soup program, right? Like, I don't know, whatever, some program, right? Make up 4 letters. If they've got some program dealing with the bond market, we are probably higher. I'd imagine they'd have to fully end QT by May. They reduced it from 30 to 50 billion a month, or sorry, 30 to 5 billion a month, I think, last meeting. So there's your answer as far as Q4. Let's see if we can get through next week, right? Like, yes, this is bearish. If this continues, like, here's your pitchfork. Yeah, Q4 is 50K, right? If we do nothing but continue down until Q4, we will get there. Absolutely. That's not a question. The question is what events will occur between now and then that could tip this positive or negative. We also have the MOVE index, which is the VIX. It's the volatility of the bond market. I've talked about this before, but the higher this gets, the more likely an intervention is necessary to fix the bond market. So, this looks pretty dire to me. It looks like this doesn't want to go down, Similar to the VIX. The VIX tried to go down, crept back up. So this stuff needs to settle down for Bitcoin to do well, for alts to do well. It needs VIX to settle down, volatility of the S&P. It needs MOVE, volatility of the bond market to settle down. We don't need it to be zero. We don't need zero interest rates. We don't need, pure calmness, Sunday morning pond, right? Just nothingness, stillness. But this is just too much. There's too much going on. Hot air does rise. You're right, Chuck Norris. Surfing the Riffin. Slight bull div on daily RSI. What's up, Solstice? The only way to make the world happy. Yeah, well, we did this to ourselves, Joey. I mean, show me the incentive, I'll show you the outcome. We sent everything abroad. We wanted cheaper goods. This is the outcome. You can't reverse that in a week. It takes time to reverse that if you want to reverse that. JPOW just talked last Friday and seemed cool as a cucumber. I don't know. We'll see. Again, like the higher the 10-year goes, the more panicked they're going to get. If having a 90-day pause in the tariffs push them off the cliff or step them back from the cliff, and we're still up here, like what are they going to do next? Like this had all the technical rationale to break down, and it did, but it reversed with a vengeance up here. This is a failed head and shoulders, right? We've gone above the right shoulder, closed above the right shoulder. Not what you want to see if you want rates to come down. Yeah, don't listen to Joey. He doesn't even get paid to moderate. Okay, what does he know? Yeah, we definitely did it to ourselves. Anyway, so that's Bitcoin 10-year. Gold, by the way, having quite the time. Trading like a shitcoin, just all the way back up there. It bounced on the daily keychain. Pretty crazy. Massive move there. Gold miners, massive move. Gold miners have a lower time frame, 4 hour, 1 hour. I don't know where this is best viewed necessarily, but they're in their own inverted head and shoulders nested bullishness, right? Like, you're making higher highs, you're not making lower lows, you're coming off of a multi-year breakout pattern that measures significantly higher. The underlying continues to make highs. This is what you'd want to see from Bitcoin miners if Bitcoin was going higher. But yeah, gold miners, is this an all-time high for this? No, not an all-time high for the ETF, but still looks very good. Still looks very good. Oil getting crushed on global recession fears, growth fears. This is good for the inflation inputs for energy. But long term, it'll bring our numbers down, but is it a good thing that we're headed for less growth globally? Probably not. XLE getting crushed. Just a gross rejection of any hopes and dreams I had of this thing breaking out. Probably a lesson that if these ascending triangle patterns go to the end, they typically fail. They typically, if this was bullish, the breakout would have actually succeeded back here. Usually it's when it's 3/4 complete. So for me to be still sitting in this or adding to this or whatever I did just doesn't really make sense from a chart pattern perspective. Chart looks god awful. God awful. $90-day pause barely did anything. Yeah. I mean, look at TLT. We're almost in the so bearish for bullish level because of liquidity injections. I just don't see how that's not going to happen. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants it. Anyway, back to crypto. So BTC low time frame, I'd watched the diagonal, some 8-hour diagonal, 6-hour, whatever. Yeah, it's there. At this point, if we can get it back above 83, the good news is the resistance is getting lower as we're moving along with time here, but we haven't been able to make the higher high. It's just consistent and persistent lower highs over and over and over. There's one here, there's one here, there's one here. So until we can actually hold a low and make a high, yeah, I'm with you, 50K by Q4 guy. I just think there's going to be some fundamental reasoning that this party turns around. Not even hopium, but we got to watch the 10-year for that. ETH. I don't think there's anything to do. It needs time. Last time it took months. I don't need to see months. Show me weeks. But this thing, why? I think the only reason you'd want to step in here is if we got down to like down here. If we break 1,000 with volume, with a good candle, I think that would be super interesting. Like if we see a capitulation style break of 1,000. Otherwise, what's the point? You're in a bear trend on every time frame. Every time frame. Weekly, 3-day, 2-day, 12-hour, daily. Like there's no hope here. There's nothing. We can talk about divs. There's not even a div. Not even a div. So what is there to do here? I don't know. Nothing. You gotta wait. You gotta wait your turn. But there's nothing here. There's nothing here. Sol, kind of the same story. Continues to make lows. Hasn't been able to hold on to highs. 4-hour cloud has been correct almost the entire time. Bearish since January. Let's here, I'll set an alert for myself. 121. There you go. If we can get above 121 and hold, we can talk. Now you could say maybe this is a early stage like IHS, maybe. But we're not there yet. 121. Is that so hard? We're at 110, 111. CrowdStrike for legacy, sure. If you guys want me to look at anything, let me know. Sol Weekly also looks not great. It's not somewhere you'd want it to be. We'll go to the 3-day. You buy the breakouts from a bear market or continuations from a bull market. To buy here, this is not. If you were purely based on some systematic, back-tested, buy, hold, sell, whatever, this is not the spot to make your move. It just isn't. You know, that was 1, and this was 2. So bullish TK recross price above cloud, or bullish Kuma breakout, right? We had this. We talked about this for months. You can go back to 2023 and watch the videos on the channel. But here, what is there here? There's nothing. So you need a pattern. You need something. Now, if we can get a broader bottom, like this could turn out to be a multi-shouldered, inverted head and shoulders into, I don't know, whenever. Sure. But it's way too early for that. Subtle bull div on this, on high time frames. But there's nothing here. It just isn't. If this low can hold and we can do the U-shaped bottom, then I do like 200 this year, a 2x from here, but the confidence in that is 0 at the moment until this starts holding levels and can just maintain some sideways action for a minute. Show Altcoin already. That's the other problem. If everybody's trading junk, they're certainly not going to trade ETH. Like, raise your hand if you're trading ETH over Altcoin, right? Why? You just don't have a reason to. It's not moving. It's been bearish. If this is trading purely on momentum and memes and nonsense, right? Like, why would you trade ETH here? I don't have a good answer for you. I don't know. Look at the volume here on this. So ETH is at 60 million, let's call it. Altcoin 26 million, 27 million. Like, it's almost catching up to the layer 1 volume. It would be top 5 in volume on layer 1s. Huge volumes on that. It's got a chart that looks like GDX or GDX. It looks good. Like, you can't deny it. It certainly looks better than most of the other meme coins, but why the hell would you trade ETH? I don't know. Same thing with anything on this list. What is bullish about any of this stuff? It just isn't. It needs a lot more time to bottom and base and to make higher highs. It just hasn't. Ripple tried to break down, got saved by Orange Man, but it's still in bear territory. Again, like, is this a buy, hold, or sell? It's certainly not a buy. I can tell you that. I don't care if this is the stone cold bottom. It doesn't matter. You would never buy a chart that looks like this. It just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. You want to buy highs, not stuff that's breaking down and sort of bounced. Like, this is just a throwback potentially. And that's the whole list. Like, the whole list looks like this. We need probably a month or two at this point into May. Like, what else would there be? Ondo, Link, Algo, all these charts look exactly the same. Algo getting just trounced there at the Tenkin. The good news is everything is so bearish that it's going to be pretty easy to say, all right, we're actually back. Just flipping through the list. Matic. Ugh. What is that? Down. This was down. It's over 75%. Yikes. Tia down again, near. All this stuff just looks god awful. All right, we've got people arguing in the chat about tariffs. That's the state of this market. What's up, Elliot from Twitter? Have I gone over hype? No, but you know, it's going to be probably like everything else. Is this a good chart for it? I think so. Probably need this on lower time frames. Okay, at least it's holding a level. I don't hate it, but what would I want to see? Higher highs. Not quite there yet. I would love to see this put in a right shoulder like this. Badoop. So I like alerts at like 15. It's down a bunch, went sideways, down like 70%. Since February, it's down, got down to basically 75% from all-time highs. It looks okay, but it needs more time for me. Two from last week, one was Curve. Curve's in like a similar boat here where it's not a slam dunk trade at the moment, but it's a pretty decent setup. Why is Curve bottoming? I have no idea, but it's done nothing for months, whereas most everything is just sold off. So somebody's clearly buying this, or there's less sellers than buyers. Whatever the case, I do like this one as potentially an early mover outside of everything else in the market, when everything else is certainly more bearish. There's a chance that Curve, for whatever reason, could move ahead of everything else. So I like alerts at, I don't know, 56 cents? Sure. It's the same. What do you want to see? Higher highs, bullish TK cross pricing cloud. You know, it's never different. This is the edge-to-edge idea, effectively. So Curve looks decent. Pendle is another one. This chart? No. Where's it actually traded? That's futures. Where is there a good Pendle chart? Crypto.com? Sure. So Pendle, similar story. IHSE E to E stuff going on here, right? Is this enough for right shoulder? I don't know. Why is this moving and everything else isn't? I don't know. Is this technically a higher high? Yeah. Am I going to take the trade? Probably not, because what is the market cap of this thing? I don't even know. But it looks okay. It looks okay. Looks okay. BTC is above 74. That's good. Sure, I'll give you that. Just catching up with chat. Yeah, Pendle. Pendle looks good. Past this, it's a sizing question. Like, okay, clearly I'm not longing anything based on the altcoin land, based on a system that's, you know, that I think works, which is the cloud. So if we're on this like nice edge of entries here, what would your sizing be? Bigger than normal, less than normal, status quo? I don't know. I just feel like the market as a whole isn't ready to go up yet, and it's going to be much easier for this stuff to do well when the broader market is slightly more bullish, just less bearish than it is now. I'm from Michigan, pretty close to Canada. Canada, every time I've been to Canada, Canada was great. Love Canada, personally. CVX USD. Convex, not as flat as you'd want to see it, but a similar setup. Like, the tough part is you could have people tell you that this is definitely a chart pattern that is bullish. This is definitely the low. And sometimes that would work. And then you'd say, well, why aren't you just longing here, Josh? It looks good enough. But again, it becomes a confidence and sizing question. Like, if you think this is real, if you're confident that you like this level, I don't hate trading this with the stop loss at lower lows, right? Sure, why not? Like, you could do that. But I just don't have any confidence in this playing out. I think it's worth setting alerts for at like 211. Because just like curve, you've got like this possibility. That's a 2x, right? Like, we'll see. I doubt it, but we'll see. Chart looks okay. Looks okay. Curve following the stablecoin narrative. Yeah, we talked about that a couple weeks ago. I think that maybe that's why people need. If there's more stablecoins, people are going to need a way to exchange them between each other, and maybe that's why Curve's doing better. I don't know. Sure. Any other alts before we go to legacy? Any other alts? Memes, same thing. Doge, Shib, Pepe, Bonk. Like, yes, you could throw a dart at the wall and say this is the bottom, and you'd be up 50% in May or whatever. Like, that's possible. I just don't have confidence in that. WIF looks horrific. Floki looks horrific. Pepe, similar to CVX, probably looks the best, which, again, isn't great. It's not great. But you can just watch this on like the 4 hour or the 6 hour. We'll go 6 hour. Watch it on the 6 hour. Set alerts. Go do something else with your life, You can see there's like an ultra low time frame. Something trying here, right? We could be here next week and say, oh my gosh, the lows are in, the bottoms are in. I just want to see one higher high. That's all. Just one. Can we make a higher high? We haven't really been able to do that yet. So yeah, I think that's it for alts. ETH BTC, abysmal. Like, why? Again, we are breaking bearish pitchforks to the downside. This is basically a straight line down at this point, right? Like, what else is there left? You need to see somebody buying, and we've got none of that. This is just straight down. Awful. Sol BTC, also not in a place you'd want to buy it. It just isn't. Talk to me in 2026. Sol ETH still favors Sol. Let's take a look at some of the other BTC pairs. Ripple BTC in a massive multi-year range still. ADA BTC, you might get a similar pattern that you saw in 2018 to 2021. Same spot, same fractal, really. Like, that's scary similar. I must have drawn this out a couple weeks ago, but it's possible. So again, set some alerts and do something else with your life. That's what I'm doing. AVAX, Death, .BTC, new all-time lows, I believe. Link, new multi-month lows. SWE, nothing. Uni, no. Near, that's a new all-time low. Apt, sitting at all-time lows. ICP, all-time low. None of these look great. Tau, bouncing from all-time lows. ARB, all-time lows. These look so awful. So awful. Just trying to see on ARB now. There's just nothing. What is there to do here to pull you out of BTC into an alt? Doesn't make sense. Momentum is still very much super bearish on all of these. ENA, GRT, just ugly. Ugly, 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 ugly. Buys for ETH at 900. I mean, you could try to take a stab there. Certainly. Yeah, Elliot is saying on Twitter, best performing ETF of the year was the inverse 2x ETH ETF. I didn't even really know about this. I'm sure I've mentioned it briefly in a previous video, but not something I was watching. Huge move. It's up like 250%, I think. Wild. Wild. Yen carry trade unwind. I kind of don't care, honestly. I just don't care. Someone was asking about fibs, I think. Like, why do I draw fibs the way I do? All I'm ever doing is looking at the high and the low. So the first step is, is there a range here? And then the next step would be, does it look like anything chart pattern wise? Does it have a bias? If you're under the assumption that something is bearish or has a bearish bias, you'd start at the low, move to the high, and that gives you a projection for price. And you can backtest this. You know, it's scary good on how often this stuff works. This was the ascending triangle back here. The reason I use the 1618 to the 2 isn't really a fib, but it's the measured move of the depth of the pattern. So that's why I use the range there. That's why I use fibs for everything. You can go back like years. You can look at any instrument you want. You can look at whatever. This was a double top, inverted cup and handle, whatever you want to call it. Now you could say, well, this is just hindsight, Josh. This is just hindsight. Well, watch some videos over the past 6 years that I've been doing videos. I don't know. Fibs are good for that. They give you a great guess, educated guess at where we're going. Greg P wants my coordinates where I lived. What are they called? GPS. He wants my GPS coordinates. Greg P, I would say in that you're in the ballpark. You're in the ballpark. Fart coin entries, full point. I can't believe people are even considering alts right now. I'm with you, Stream to Watch. I'm with you. Alts are kind of like either they're hot or they're not. If they're not hot, then they're mostly all going to struggle, probably. It's easy to pick which ones look strong in a time when everything looks like junk. Like, you know, Curve, sideways is strong right now. Pendle, sideways is strong right now. Fartcoin, it's making higher highs. Not much else is making higher highs right now. I don't know about an entry on this. It just, at this point, it feels late. You also had, I didn't even talk about this anywhere, but you also had like this head and shoulders, right here. I wasn't watching it seriously enough to talk about it, but yeah, just like you had this back here. This we did talk about at some point. Like, if you see this on alts, end in May, love it, love it. But yeah, I don't think there's anything to do here personally. Nothing to do here personally. Render. What is there to do? What is the micro or macro structure that you like? It's down a lot. I would just like draw some diags and set some alerts personally. I just don't think any of this stuff is ready just yet. There's a world where we get, again, like some multi-shouldered head and shoulders, and then we send it, where we stop making lower lows, we finally make a higher high. Maybe that's May, I don't know, right? Like, but this fractal feels like, I remember it most on AVAX. I don't know why, but it feels like this into Q4. All of 2024 for most alts was just nothing, right? You had this, whatever, breakout, kind of this like sideways diagonal IHS, similar to Sol. This took like, what, a year and a half to break out. You got this. You got another one back here. Whatever, right? But it was a combination of things at the bottom of the bear market. I think if we see moves like we could see, it's gonna have to come from something like that, where we break some diag and then we go. But it's just too early here. This is Pepe. I think that's at the top of my list of things that could do well, just because it's setting up for that. That's all. Yeah, the IHSception, where it's just repeated fractals inside of one another. All right, MSTR. Let's just look at SPY real quick. SPY briefly in the cloud, bearish TK cross on the weekly. Not anything you generally want to trade. Because now it's just in, like, I don't know, coin flip, no man's land. It's not trending. It bounced a lot. Right? Like, what do you have here structurally that you'd want to take a trade on? I don't know. On the daily, far below the daily cloud still. If we're talking about when did this bottom in 2022, it was after several attempts of breaking out above the daily cloud. It wasn't until this thing flatlined and finally made higher highs that it took off. Now, it's possible that we recover like we have in 2023 and 2024. It's just give it like a month. If you tell me in a month we're above 550, love it. But we're still finding out what we want to be when we grow up down here. So the rest of the market is just going to be all over the place, but mostly leaning bearish, certainly. I would love to see a lower time frame pattern or something. Like, look at this nonsense. What is this? What is this? This is insanity. It's insanity. Maybe double bottom. No idea. No idea. So yeah, that's the SPY. MSTR. MSTR could be double bottom again, like a lot of this stuff, where it has sort of trying to do something. It's got another lower time frame, double bottom attempt back here. Tried to get above the cloud, failed, right? Okay, maybe it goes again. Maybe it goes again. Daily, it's not ready yet. 4 hour. If we can get back above 300, then I like it. But is there anything to do here really right now? I don't think so. Just, again, it's kind of just in no man's land. Like, it's bearish, floating. So that's MSTR. Palantir was a request just off the bat. My mind goes, that's a head and shoulders. No, it's clearly not a perfect case. But whatever this ends up being, I don't know. Not a fan personally. Daily, it's still neutral, just purely on cloud. You'd want to see bullish TK recross price above cloud. Yes, it's bounced a lot. Meme coins have bounced a lot, right? Like everything's bounced a lot. The issue with Palantir is it's had a ridiculous run. It was up, not that this stuff can't keep going up, but it was up 400% last year-ish, 300%. At some point, the selling just becomes too great. There's just less sellers or less buyers up here relative to sellers. Eventually, that's why the parabola stopped, right? So that's part of the problem. What is this fib? So that fib is higher. I don't know. Like if I was forced to trade this, I would be waiting for the bullish TK recross. One other thing this could be low time frames. Could be, probably set some alerts for this. Could be this on low time frames, right? Boop, boop, I don't know. Set alerts at like 93 and a quarter, something like that. Maybe it's in Eve Atom, UV, double bottom. I just don't think it's not above the 4 hour. It's not above the daily. Buy, seller, hold. Probably just a hold here, and it becomes a buy if it can break out. But it's already just up so much. That's the issue. I think Hood actually looks worse. Yeah. Similar to Ripple, it tried to break down, bounced. This is just in no man's land. I don't think there's anything to do there. Coin looks abysmal as well. Just in no man's land. Nothing. Nothing. A bunch of nothing. Tesla, also in no man's land. Maybe, like again, what is this? What is this? This, like, what is this? Ugly. It's a random walk. I don't know. Like it's all over the place. It's not above the 4 hour yet. It's not above the previous breakout at 260 yet. Doesn't have anything going for it, really. I got nothing. For technicals on Tesla. No idea. Optimistically, you could say it's a W double bottom, but I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah, we can look at bonds. Bonds rolling over. Not great for Orange Man. Not great for the big, beautiful bond market, as he called it. TLT. I don't know why you would be long this from a technical or fundamental basis. It makes no sense. It's just not on a spot where you'd want to take the trade. It just isn't. Shy, the 1 to 3 year ETF, looks the best, has continued to look the best. Even ag broke down. So, yikes. Just yikes. I don't think this stuff does well until the move index settles down and people have some confidence back, but does not look good. BTC broke 80K. I actually didn't. I kind of forgot about. I was busy trading not my own portfolio, but you're right. 80K was my level for MSTR. I'm still holding it for now. Probably shouldn't be, but I'm holding it for now. It really doesn't make sense to do anything leveraged on the long side here. It just doesn't. Like, you're just guessing just because of the momentum is clearly down. MSTR is like any other alt. Once BTC can hold some levels and make some highs, it'll do great. We're just not there yet. Just not there yet. Paleo similar to what you did. So yeah, to buy leverage here makes no sense to me. What are we talking about with Palantir? Oh, are you talking back here, Fibs? Just reading chat. Yeah, we didn't make it there. I think we talked about this in January, but the Williams fractals, like if you're never sure, there's always something you can use, which would be the Williams fractals outside of the cloud. It gets you out here, puts you back in here, and then doesn't really get you out again until back here. So not perfect, but at some point you got to say, all right, this thing's up 300% in a year. Maybe I don't get back in here at 83. I don't know. But the fractal's not really helpful. The bearish TK cross is the other nail in the coffin to tell you, all right, this thing is done. Similar to BTC, by the way, right? Like BTC, was there anybody, I didn't really notice, but I'm sure there was people calling for levels like 84 when we were at 94. We were certainly talking about it. This is what the cloud's all about. You had your bearish TK across February 9th. We were in the cloud for like 2 weeks. Dropped to 84 exactly, held there for a while, and then dropped out of the cloud. So nothing here is saying this looks like a great long. Nothing. Can you look at spot like this? Is that what you mean? Oh, Spotify. Okay. Kind of looks like Netflix up only forever. Is this anything? I don't think so. I don't know, it just looks like a mess. Everything here looks very garbled. I don't see anything. Kind of reminds me of Costco. Even Costco kind of looks head and shoulders-y, doesn't it? Don't tell Warren B. Berkshire. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Kind of looks head and shoulders-y to me. JPM, by the way, broke down, broke back up. That had head and shoulders. So this is like the Ripple chart. Ripple's trading like JPM, right? Where it broke down and bounced back to the neckline. Good old, we're just not there yet this week. That's right. ASPI. I have no idea what this is. Not that it matters, but let's take a look. I got nothing. I have no idea. Trying to be bullish? I got nothing for you. Let me just take a quick look. K-Web. Huge volatility there. Hasn't really gone anywhere. FinTech Toast. Volatility there. Cybersecurity ETF. Huge volatility there. Software ETF. Volatility. Nothing. Uber has actually held. Is this anything? It's a mess, I'll give you that. I don't know. Just a mess. Uber's a mess. Lucid. Let's go to the EV list real quick. Tesla, we talked about. Rivian just grinding lows. XPEV flat. Mobileye, yuck. EH reversal. QS, new all-time lows. Neo, new multi-month lows, still bearish. The truth will set you free, as they say, or whatever the saying is. Moving my alert down to like 489. Bearish. Lucid, Polestar, bearish. EVAV, the leveraged EV ETF. New, is that a new all-time low? That is a new all-time low. Yuck. Plug. All-time low, I think. Almost all-time low. Nothing. Just nothing there. That's for sure. BITU 4 hour. Needs more time. There's just nothing out there. Leveraged ETH. Yeah. Gross. Semler Scientific. What do we got here? Anything? No, not yet. Now there's going to be a time, chat. There's going to be a day when things look good again. Today is not that day. Today is not that day. 3-day Ichi, the line in the sand for BTC? We can take a look. I think the weekly Kijun, if we're below 76 on the weekly, probably time to call it. Back it up. See in 4 years. Where's my Mag 7 list? Here we go. NVIDIA. Huge bounce. Still in bear territory, obviously. I don't know. What do you do with that? Anything? Broadening, descending wedge, maybe? Not ready yet. Apple. Ugh. That is ugly. That's just a huge puke. Microsoft. What's crazy to me is that one guy can say something like tariffs on the world and cause this. It just seems a little silly to me. But hey, this is the world we live in. Microsoft, maybe an eventual IHS, needs to hold this level. Meta, same deal. Netflix kind of looks head and shoulders-y, doesn't it? Shoulder, head, shoulder. I just don't think there's anything to do right now anywhere. Amazon, ugh. Such a good setup too, to 300. This also looks, let's just delete that for now. Don't all these charts just look like this? Do I just have my head and shoulders goggles on today? I might. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good. Google, yuck. Tesla we talked about. So yeah, I don't see anything. You know what's funny is JC Peretz, super turbo bull. I haven't seen him post too many things lately. Haven't seen him post too many things lately. All right, GILD. A few more, then we get out of here. Gilead. Not long, I can tell you that. You're getting bearish TK cross, price below cloud, potentially. Had a good run. From mid 24 to now. The hardest part, I think, for most people is like, if you know a company or a sector, you want to buy that stuff or trade that stuff, and it's not always its turn, right? Like Bitcoin and alts and crypto. Clearly not our turn right now. But a lot of people get in this trap where they're like, this is what I know, I'm going to trade what I know, and I don't want to sit on my hands. I just want to be trading all the time. Not that this is what Stream to Watch is doing, but I'm just saying, like, this is probably done for a good long while before you get an entry again. At least a month on the 4 hour, right? Like, until we have some bullishness on lower time frames, it's rough. KO, the trade I didn't take. It's always the ones you don't take, chat, you know? It's always the trades you don't take that work out. Yeah. Maybe cup and handle-ish. I don't know. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. Doesn't look terrible. Kieran. Kieran's on my side. Joey is pro tariff, pro orange man. I'm like, why are we letting one guy do this? Like, that just seems not right. Am I wrong? Am I wrong? Weekly below key June, and it's all your cash. I need to figure out the tax consequences of selling below the weekly key June for me, but it's harder to be a buyer if we lose that because, which look, it looks like we're gonna, unless this is the bottom, we lose the weekly eventually here. So it's tough. I don't think we've ever lost the weekly and it wasn't the top. Like all of 2017, we held it. Even 2016, we held the weekly till the very end. Okay. 2018. I guess 2013 was an anomaly, but it was also 2013. So I don't know. The other issue is there's not that much data here to be super sure. It's like confidence levels. Am I confident the cycle continues if we break the weekly? No, I'm not. I get less confident. So now if you're here for 4 years, if you're here for 10 years, what do you care, right? You're just dollar cost averaging. But what you certainly don't want to see is this shoulder, head, shoulder. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. So losing the weekly would be very no bueno. Now it's possible that this time is different and we lose the weekly and we are fine and we repair that. But that isn't a quick event. You know, that takes months to lose it and repair it. So it's at a very precarious spot here. Currently, that is exactly, hold on, 79, we're basically at it. We're sitting on it right now, the weekly key June. We've already lost the weekly, the weekly 140, which is the daily 140, weekly 20. We've already lost that, and that's not something we generally lose in a bull market. Now, we did lose it last year and recovered, so hey, that's possible. It's possible that cycles are shorter and we get more cycles, we get more intra-year cycles. All that's possible. It's just hard to think Bitcoin doesn't do well if they're printing what they're probably going to need to print, right? That's the thing. I'm killing the vibe. The Head and Shoulders goggles are killing the vibe. I mean, Joey, how many, we're going to lose our moderator, chat. With the moderator is fighting with chat. How many executive orders did Biden write, did Obama write versus Trump? I mean, like, there's got to be something that says, hey, we probably don't need this many executive orders, right? Like, no matter who's in charge. I'm just saying, like, I love the Doge stuff. The border stuff is great, but let's not deport gay hairdressers. Okay, so let's fix that. And then this tariff stuff has been absolutely god-awful. Just the worst imaginable plan and rollout. You could have done tariffs the right way, which is probably 10% across the board, make some deals, whatever. But to do what they did, how they did it, and how they're continuing to do it is just awful. It's indefensible. It's indefensible. All right, I think that's all we got for this one. Auto pen executive orders. Pretty sure everybody uses the auto pen. I'm pretty sure. Even Trump. Yeah, we got an executive order for water pressure today. Like, you know, it's silly, it's fine, whatever. Maybe it's a slippery slope, but like, why, right? Why? Why? Yeah, anyway. So that's all I got. Hopefully next week we just stopped making lows. That's all I care about. Gold just absolutely having the time of its life here. This is where the alt season's happening. It's a new all-time high for gold. That's all I got for this one. Can we give the tariffs more than 5 days to work? Absolutely, Joey, but you can't set it up the way they set it up and then say, oh, no big deal. That's fine. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing? Also, it was all about Main Street. The tariffs are all about Main Street, and then we just removed the tariffs. What happens to Main Street now? Rust Belt USA, baby. All right, that's all I got. I'm out of here. Thanks, chat. Let me know in the comments if you want to see anything specific.